that new whip. Hey, who did it do drip?
And we're live.
Welcome to Bet Records, where we talk about hot topics, ideas, and all the shit you really want to hear.
We got a little secret sauce for you, some special seasoning on for this episode. This is a special episode, so it's going to air, obviously you're listening to it at a kind of a different time than we usually post. We're going to start having special episodes here and there that are going to post kind of on off days for us. Going to get a little bit of flavor on stuff here within the next few weeks, so be sure to check out that. This one, if you haven't guessed or figured it out by now, Justin, or the Catnator, or the Conservative, whatever you want to call him.
The Conservative.
He is back from his vacation in Haiti, and he is,
thought it was Jamaica, bro.
Nobody can see it, but I was just nodding my head.
He's now back, as you could tell in this last episode that you would have heard a couple days ago. And here we're just going to kind of go through how he's been, what he's been up to, and what he plans on doing here on out. So,
how was it coming back up to Mississippi on a life raft from the Haiti earthquake?
That's cultural appropriation, right?
That is not cultural appropriation, literally.
It was a joke.
So, literally,
it was literally a joke. So, if you haven't listened to the 26th episode of our second season, definitely check that out. We asked Justin a couple other questions, but we know you did the sound and stuff, at the stadium. Was there anything else that you kind of did for your work down in Dickenson?
So I just want to give a shout out to the Badlands Big Sticks, great baseball organization. They really gave me the summer of my life.
Sure.
So before I start this, I really need to give a shout out to all my fellow interns because they really made this summer awesome. So I gotta give a shout out to Logan Hoff, starting quarterback, Mayville State, Christine Fox, Leah Brown, H. Carbs, aka Hannah Carbon, Vanessa Wademan, my roommate Max Stapleton. I know we disagree on a lot of sporting issues because he's a New York fan. He gives me a lot of shit. He used to beat my ass in UFC 4 all summer, but in the last week he was gone. Or the last week before he left, I knocked his ass out with Khabib.
Khabib, baby.
And then the next day, he said, "No way you're going to do that again." Then I beat him with Max Holloway in decision. Boom, shakalaka. I'm coming for you.
Boom.
Give more shout outs to Hayden Witt, a Kansas State University student. He's going to be a grad assistant there. And, of course, Sam Henderson, Serious Sam, from a graduate from Oklahoma State. He's starting a new job in Salina, Kansas. I wish you the best of luck, my man. You awesome, even though how serious you are. And you know what's funny? Because we were at the bowling alley one night, and we were doing a little trolling session in the chat, sending memes to each other. And I was like, you know what? This is the perfect time for me to troll Sam. So I took a cutout of his face, and I put it on the poster of the 40-year-old virgin, and I put it in the chat. We were all together. We were just trolling each other in the chat. So I send that, the 40-year-old virgin, Sam Henderson, and he immediately responds back. He goes, "Excuse me, Justin. I'm pretty sure I'm the one who had a girlfriend here, and you did not." And everyone's like, "Ooh, how's Justin going to respond to that?" Want to know how I responded?
How'd you respond?
The butt doesn't count.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I got him there. I love the kid, though.
This is not the first time that Justin has ever pasted the 40-year-old version, someone's face onto the 40-year-old version.
Oh, yeah, Brad.
He's done this many times before.
That's true.
1 or 2 times, but I only seek out the person.
Is that like your favorite movie or what?
No, my favorite movie's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Really? The new one that just came out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think it was too bad either. That's kind of how it was left.
Sonic the Hedgehog's my favorite video game of all time.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know about
Such
that.
a great movie.
Are you really
Jim
calling that a
Carrey.
cinematic masterpiece?
No.
Jim Carrey as Dr. Eggman.
Yeah.
That panned out perfectly.
You know what? It was, dude. Me and Cole actually, Justin. Me and Cole actually watched it one day. We were like, let's just watch something. We don't have to pay attention to that much. It'll be on the background, right? Fuck you, Harvey Davidson, motherfucker. Anyways,
That was a ricer.
okay, Mr. Carr. No, we watched it though. Anyways, like, oh, we don't have to pay attention. All of a sudden, we're like, oh, this is fucking weird. And all of a sudden, we're like, oh, okay, this is fucking interesting. And then how it ended, we're like, bro, they set that up perfectly for a movie 2. Perfectly. I mean, Jim Carrey as the Eggman goes and transforms into the Eggman we know from the video games and shit. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you think about the ending and how they kind of left things for that movie?
So as Sonic said it in the first 8 minutes of the movie, while they were chasing through San Francisco. If you haven't seen the movie, it was like in the beginning of the movie. It started.
It's on Hulu. Check it out.
With the scene, and it's on Paramount Plus too. So it started with a scene where Sonic was being chased by Eggman through, and it was like later in the movie, he being chased through the city of San Francisco, and it kind of paused, and he was just like, okay, I know what you're wondering. Why is that handsome hedgehog being chased by a madman scientist with a mustache from the Civil War? And then at the end of the movie, you have Eggman, Jim Carrey, sporting the actual mustache that Eggman had, the full, he's completely gone insane.
Yep.
But other than that, let's get off movies. I want to talk about my incredible summer.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It was a great time.
How did you start getting into this internship? Can I ask? Obviously you applied somewhere. Was it through St. Cloud?
I actually didn't apply for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was really in desperate need of an internship. It was about.
You're never desperate, bro. You're the top tier of your class, bro. You just stumbled upon it, of course.
I'm telling you, man, it's really hard to come by internships. Really? I applied to a couple. I interviewed for 1 or 2, and just none of them got back to me. So I immediately.
Why is it so hard to get into internships?
Because they don't like my style, I guess.
You got that northeast vibe. It's too aggressive or what?
But
no, I'm just teasing.
But so it was around April, and I had no internship. That was my final requirement to graduate, and I needed it badly. So I just decided I need to reach out. Yeah. So I went on LinkedIn and just reached out. I'm like, I'm really desperate for an internship in the sports industry. I didn't say desperate. I just said I'm in need.
I was going to ask.
Because when you say desperate in LinkedIn, of course not. Yeah. But I didn't type that in my post, but in my mind, I'm desperate. I really need it.
Of course, yeah.
And
go through all the options, see what's out there. Yep.
And one of my former classmates who was in my program, I had all my classes with her, reached out and she said, message me. I was like, absolutely, let's do it.
At St. Cloud or?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
At St. Cloud. She was in my program, and she told me about the opportunity. I did an interview with her, and she said, we think you're great for this. We'd love to have you.
Cool.
I said, absolutely. And I will give a shout out to her, Hannah Pepich. Thank you so much.
Damn, Ash.
It was the greatest opportunity in my life.
Yeah,
I'm really thankful for her.
Good.
Because if I didn't have that opportunity, I'd still be dead in the water right now.
Yeah. Yep. No, that's awesome.
And it honestly led to the best summer of my life.
It really did. Because we talked about this a little bit before, you left on the podcast, I'm going to North Dakota. What the fuck is there in North Dakota? And we made the jokes about the buffalo and the bison. What were some of the highlights of you going down there to Dickenson and that area, just locally, and then kind of branching out? Because I know you went to Teddy National Park, but what were some kind of highlights of just the area you were in?
Well, the main highlight was definitely the people.
Cool.
Obviously, I got to know the interns, who were awesome. The players, they were great too. But in the process of meeting all the players and the interns, I got to meet a bunch of Dickenson State University students. And
of course,
to be honest, I grew a great bond with them.
Cool.
They're all great people. And I wouldn't be surprised if I just pick a weekend, honestly go up to see them. Because I loved hanging out with them that much. The town of Dickenson is very nice. Everyone always assumes, North Dakota, there's nothing to do, all that. But when you go to the western edge, Dickenson, that's the biggest town. Like outside of that, yeah, there's nothing. But inside the town of Dickenson, there's a lot to do. Once you make friends in that town, there's a lot to do.
What do you got? What do you got a lot to do besides? Is it just like bar stuff, which is totally that's all we have fucking to do in St. Cloud. But what did you guys kind of do? I guess in the town.
So obviously, every single day we bonded with the Badlands Big Sticks game.
Of course.
And they happened at home, and that would always be fun. Other than that, we would go to the bars every single night, or select nights.
Yeah,
because obviously
every other night.
Because there were certain nights like the team had a game the next day, and they would show up to the bars, but like, okay, I can't drink too much.
Couple, yeah.
And there was one house we went to. It was a host family's house. Her name was Miss Joan. God bless her. She's awesome. And that was like kind of our shout out. Absolutely. She's awesome.
I believe it. Yeah.
And that was like kind of our main party spot. We would have all the interns, all the players, all the DSU students who were close who worked game day staff. And that was our hangout spot. And I really got to know a bunch of the players and everyone else.
Cool.
There, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
I feel blessed to meet all of them.
Good.
Like I will never forget about all of them.
Yeah. What was your like housing and living situation kind of like down there? Did you have an apartment, a house, or what was up?
So most of the interns and players had host families, but I was one of the select few to be stationed in the apartment that the Big Sticks owned.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
And I got paired up with a great roommate. Shout out to Max Stapleton, University of Wisconsin-Madison, and
you suck at UFC, but it's fine, right?
I beat his ass twice. Not like 200 times. But yeah, really great guy, New York native. We clicked immediately. Like
you guys are both from the East Coast, so you guys both have that fucking East Coast fucking dick attitude, for lack of a better term.
So the first time I met him was actually to go grocery shopping, because one of the incentives was that the team would pay for our groceries in the apartment.
Cool.
And I hadn't met him yet, so my boss Hannah texted me and was like, okay, meet me and we're going to go grocery shopping. And I met him right away. I was like, oh, hey, what's up? I'm like, yeah, a little casual. Mm-hmm. And like 5 minutes in, he's like, are you wearing a Khabib shirt? I was wearing my Khabib Nurmagomedov Eagle shirt. Yeah. Sure. He's like, hell yeah. And he's like, you UFC fan? I was like, diehard UFC fan. He's like, and he said to me, he's like, we're going to get along just fine.
Nice.
I was like, you bet your ass we are.
Nice.
And yeah, every single night we play UFC. He'd beat my ass, but I would learn and get better. I got a lot better playing against him because he's a pro. Like he was telling me when he played UFC 3, he was like actually a major league gamer when it came to UFC 3. And like UFC, he didn't really like UFC 4 is what he told me compared to the third. But I really...
For what reason?
He didn't like the new additions to like the grappling. He didn't like the new head movement, all that. Like the more feints you can do. He didn't like that.
Okay, because I have 3. I got it for free on my Xbox, so I was unsure how 4 works. But yeah, we can square up on 3 one day. You'll beat my ass, but it's fine.
Okay. From what he told me, that's the reasons. Like he can correct me, but from what I remember, that was the reasons he told me. But all around, I'm glad I met him. He was a great roommate.
Yeah.
I loved every single day when we got off work and we could just chill, kick back, have a couple brews, bond, play some PS4, or even watch a movie. Like, he was a great roommate.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss that kid a lot. I plan on texting him soon and visiting him in Madison.
Yeah.
Great guy.
That'd be pretty cool.
Cool. Yeah.
Not far at all.
And I'd love all you guys to meet him, too.
Yeah. No, I'd be dope. We fly him out here. What the fuck? Why we gotta all go out there and just come here and...
It's only 4 hours away.
Yeah, but there's 4 of us here, bro. Like, come on.
Stop being a pussy, dog.
Come on, dude. Seriously.
Madison is tits. Have you ever been there?
Yeah, I'll walk.
You've never been there.
No, I've never been there.
I can go to Madison. I just can't go to
We just been to Hudson. Yeah, we can't go to... We all can't go to Hudson anymore. But I was going to ask you, Justin. So, like I said, we know you did the sound and some of the social media stuff. Did you do anything else before the stadium opened, or anything else that you kind of had to do day-to-day kind of stuff, or maybe once a week you did something? What else kind of did you have to do through your internship?
So when the first week started, it was obviously a lot of prepping the stadium because we got there about a week and a half before the season started and kicked off.
Sure. Yep.
So it was more of just like getting the stadium ready for it, power washing the deck and all that. And
The deck is what,
like the bleachers, like all the stands.
Oh, okay.
The
So where the
stands.
fans stand. Okay, that's what I figured, but okay. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure.
So there was 3 sections. One was actually a seated stand, like had actual seats.
Like a backrest or what?
Yeah, a
okay.
backrest.
That's what I figured. Yep.
And then the other 2 were like kind of like Lambeau Field, just the metal bleachers. And that we had to power wash all that, just clean, make sure everything's good. Because at the end of the day, the owner Dave stressed it. It's all about the fan experience. And at the end of the day, like, you have to realize with sports, it really is, when you think about it, how the fans have a good time at the game.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because like the team doesn't matter. Because what brings the fans back? It's how much fun they had at the game.
Yeah, they have to feel part of the experience.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course. And Dave really did know about that a lot. We had a little differences. Like, there was a couple things me and the interns disagreed with him on. But at the end of the day, his goal was...
What would be an example of that? Like, what are the things you guys disagreed on?
Just kind of stuff that you would play, like, through audio
interacting with the fans during the game. In between, like, there's a reason he always had a mic. Sometimes he would abuse that a little bit. Like there was a couple scenarios, like he would have a mic during the game, and after he said something, he would forget to turn it off. Put it on his back pocket, and like I'm sitting there in the sound booth just listening. I'm just hearing. I'm just like, wait, what?
Dialing, basically.
And then I would like look to the soundboard, turn it off. I'm like, yeah, Dave's mic's on.
Oh my goodness.
And
I thought you were gonna say something else was going on with that sound effects, but what was Dan really doing?
I was
bro?
in charge of the soundboards. Like, I did feel a little bit of power, but at the end of the day, like I did talk to him in the last series, so I asked him. We are playing against the Canyon County Spuds. They're from Caldwell, Ohio, suburb of Boise, Idaho. And from Dickenson, that's a 15-and-a-half-hour bus ride.
Yeah.
Damn.
We had already played them away. We had already clinched playoff spot. And this conversation kind of changed my mind about, like, the way he thinks. So I was asking him, like, so what's the point of even, like, having them drive out this far and all that? And he said, well, you have to remember, at the end, this isn't a sporting event. It's an event. This is what brings people out. This is what brings the community together. You think about it, where are we?
Cool.
We're in western North Dakota. How many people live here? Really not many.
Right.
We're trying to bring this community together. Something to do really fun. And that's why. And that's why we're bringing incentives for the Spuds. We're going to give them a good post-game meal, good pre-game meal. And we're going to give them a big thanks for stepping up. Even though only 14 players showed up because obviously their season was over. And a lot of them were just like, yeah, it's over, no point. But the players who showed up, we're going to treat them really well because they made that drive.
Yeah,
Good point. That makes sense, yeah.
Of course, they're gonna put their heart in the game, and at the end of the day, I agree with the whole community thing because we kind of talked about on our last podcast too, the 26th episode. North Dakota and their COVID guidelines, but at the end of the day, the North Dakota people not only they don't have a football team, they don't have an NFL team, but
They have NDSU. That's their NFL.
Exactly. They don't have a baseball team, This is, something the community is going to come out for, especially in this pandemic of, stay at your house and you can't do anything. This is some light for them at the end of the tunnel,
The pandemic doesn't exist.
It's just
Yeah, I know, but, just kind of, the country morality, I should say, sporting events and, like your guys said, and that's why I agree, events like that in general, whether it's, whatever, they have a circus on the field or whatever, it, kind of brings some light to the community and it, makes makes a statement for North Dakota as well at the same time. So that's pretty cool.
And we had some very impactful event nights. For the
What did you guys
baseball team.
have? Yeah, what did you guys have?
So, have you guys ever heard of the Superstars? The Superstars?
No.
Superstars.
No.
Superstars.
Yeah, so it's a sports thing where these guys like dress up in these giant like mascot outfits and do like crazy things. There's one they like mimic pro athletes.
Okay.
Like one of them is a bull, and want to know what the name is?
What?
Tim Tebow.
Oh, nice. That's great.
That's pretty good.
That's great.
And the other one was Mike.
Wow.
The other one was like Mike Ribbit Trout or something.
Actually, that Tim Tebow probably doesn't taste very good.
No,
No,
especially
like
after you got cut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably doesn't taste good at
More
all.
like
And-
more like a Red Bull, but like a T-Bull.
Cut
Yeah, I
with-
agree.
cut
That's
with-
pretty
cut with
gross.
some
And I
baking
will
soda.
say, the Superstars put on a really good show. That was one of my favorite nights of the year. They did some really funny
So-
stuff. Like the Mike Ribbit Trout thing. So the whole away team was like aware of what was going on. So they like instructed a player to like stand out in between first base and home base. And then Mike Ribbit Trout would like run over. And it was like it was a frog.
Mm-hmm.
And like
Yeah.
it would go and attack him and then swallow him
Oh, yeah.
into the costume,
Okay.
and then like spit out his clothing, and then spit out the player, and he'd just be in his underwear,
Yeah.
run off. It was hilarious.
Okay, so I thought it was
pretty
like the
dope, yeah.
players and shit, but it was like an actual like kind of sketch kind of
Yeah,
thing,
Be
right?
sure to
Like
look it up
comedy
later.
troupe.
Superstars is hilarious. They do a great job.
They don't do that once a year, or how does that work?
No, you just got to sign up for them.
Really?
Okay.
They'll come to you. And
Damn.
actually, this is probably my favorite event of the year. It was.
Superstars.
Have you guys ever heard of Tyler's Amazing Balancing Act?
No.
Nope.
So it's this guy named Tyler. He has a
Figured his name
talent,
was Tyler.
and he has a really incredible talent of balancing anything on his nose.
Figured that too, but what did he balance on his nose? That's what I want to know.
So first he started off with on his foot, just like balancing like a chair, like, and he like built it up like. So I
Yep.
was doing music. He came up right to me. He's like, "Okay, so here's what I need choreographed and everything."
Mm-hmm.
And so like it started off with just something simple, like balancing like a baseball bat on his foot, like doing all like this like push up and then going into his another foot.
Sure.
And then it got really intense where he would put like a chair on his nose,
Shit.
balance
I
it
think I
on
saw
his
that in your
nose.
story one time, actually. I think
Yeah,
that
I
was
did.
it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
And then it led up to the finale where he took like a 6-foot ladder and balanced it on his nose. A 6-foot ladder.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Balanced it. And in between innings, like he would be in the crowd and he would walk around and they'd be like, "Hey, Tyler, balance this." And he would do it. And during the game, up by our section, by the concessions, we had like a little section for tables, like where you'd eat your concessions and all that with tables. So he took one of the chairs, balanced it on his nose, and the owner, Dave, got on the mic, and he said, "Hey, Tyler, I see you can balance a chair, but how about with a dog on it?" So fun fact, the owner, Dave, had his dog, Jack. Every single game, he would free roam the park and just like walk around.
Really?
He
That's
was
funny.
he was basically our team mascot.
That's cool.
I love that dog.
Like, would he run around the field or like the stands or like what?
Just
where
the
would he
stands.
go? Okay, that's what I
But it
figured.
did happen one game where one of our players was up to bat. He was about to swing and he called time to the ump. He's like, "Hold on, something's in the outfield," and he made his way out to the outfield.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and I was just sitting there. I was like, "How did he get out there? There's no openings." But back to my story.
Yep.
So he balanced the chair, and Dave, our owner, was like, "How would you balance it with a dog on it?" He put Jack, the dog, on the chair, and Tyler's like, "Are you sure you want me to do this?" He's like, "Yes, I do." So he put it on, and he balanced it. And
Holy
my
man.
heart was dropping. I was like, any second, Jack's going to be like, "Where the fuck am I?"
Yeah.
He's going to jump off, and I thought he
Yeah.
was going to die.
Jesus.
It was
'Cause it-
scary.
I believe it
Wow.
because the dog's not trained to
Yeah,
like, sit on a
still like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Chair, yeah.
That's why Tyler was even just like, "Are you sure?"
yeah.
But Tyler was he was a great guy. I even
Yeah, damn.
I connected with him on LinkedIn like the day after that event.
That's tough. That's
He was just a genuine nice guy. He loves what he
so.
does. He's a family man. He's getting married pretty soon. The guy knows what he's doing, and he loves what he does too.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
And another, definitely my favorite night of the year was Stark County Sheriff Appreciation Night. So it was appreciation for the sheriffs of the Stark County in North Dakota.
Nice.
And for their demos, like for the special stuff, they did a canine demonstration.
Oh yeah.
So like after the second inning, they had a woman at home plate with a dog right across them with like the giant like arm cast,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
like getting
something
ready.
like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just come and get it. And they said go. I saw that dog latch on. I was just like,
Yeah, they go
see,
hard.
if I'm ever in a struggle with the cops, and I'm like, no, and they say you're gonna get bit, I'm like, nope, no, take me. Like that dog latches on.
Oh, yeah.
It
Oh,
does
They don't
Yeah,
fuck
yeah,
around, bro.
That's some grit, bro.
And the worst part is, they don't let go either.
Oh yeah.
No, not until they're instructed to.
Yeah, but the second K9 demo they did in that game was around the 5th inning, I think. And so what it was somebody in a full body suit, like the full body bite suit, and they had the dog. The full body bite suit guy was on third base, and then they had the K9 right above second base. And Dave, our owner, said, fans, if the man on third base can get to home plate before the dog gets him, all beer will be free for the rest of the game.
Oh, jeez.
So they said go. The guy ran, and he tripped on purpose, and the dog got him. And it's funny because 5 days ago when I was doing my closing interview, Jason Watson, the GM, God bless him, great guy. I even brought that up to him. I was like, were you guys seriously going to honor that? And he said, no. I don't know why Dave said that. We were not going to honor that. Like, I was like, that's false advertising at that point.
And you told me that about a race with a dog, and I was like, why the fuck is there a dog out there?
Yeah.
But it makes sense. Like, I just can't believe an owner would just, hey,
And
just run around and we'll see. It's kind of like a kid, at a state fair. Oh, go ride the rides and we'll see you later. We'll run into you, like.
And I will say this, like, that is false advertising, but at the same time, could you imagine free beer for the rest of the game? We're in the 5th inning.
Right.
And there was no limit either.
That's
like,
what-
you couldn't even... There was no, 2 beer limit. You can get as many as you want at our stands.
Right. Because
Like, people would have taken full advantage of that.
Right. Because you told me that when we went to the soccer game, actually, and I was like, okay, but is that, one free beer a person, or, what? And Justin was like, no.
There was no limit.
Exactly.
And that brings me
such a bad
to
idea.
my other
yeah,
point.
not a good business idea.
No.
Brian,
So- Through the season, we had 3 public address announcers, and there was one, I forget his name off the top of my head, because I know there was Tom and whatever. I'll remember it later. Oh, Jason and Tom, but there was another one, I forget his name. So, he even said one day, so during the Tommy Knockers series, we because he made a lot of mistakes on the mic, so we did a little thing. We kept track of, how many foul balls are there going to be this series? How many home runs are going to be? And there was one, how many mistakes is the PA going to make on the mic?
Yeah.
And guess what the first one was?
Huh.
So in the script, that we read pregame, it always says, we the Badlands Big Sticks will always say, never drink and drive. Want to know what he said?
Huh.
He said, the Badlands Big Sticks say drink and drive.
Really?
He said that on the mic.
Oh,
Oh my
yes.
god.
Everyone just turned back and was like, what?
Huh? Bro, I'm sure the cops were like, oh, That's a good idea, bro.
Yeah.
Or either that or like, oh, we should sit outside the stadium and and watch for all these guys since they're promoting it, you know. But
That's terrible.
But another thing I want to bring up is two of the biggest pranks
yeah,
between the interns.
it.
I was gonna say between the staff. Yeah. Well, what do you got? Did you pull any, or was it other
I
people?
didn't pull any.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
So the first one I saw was
I'm
between.
surprised you didn't, but yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, because I'm a nice person.
I know you are. Yeah, I know you are. You are. But
So
what?
the first one.
Just an angel.
So the first one, I got a front row seat for. It was between Sam Henderson and Leah Brown. One day we were filling coolers before the game, and Leah said she like smells a water bottle. She's like, "This smells really weird." Sam, can you tell me like what it is? She's like, "Is it vodka?" And she's like, "I don't know. Can you like smell for me?" It's definitely vodka. And she's like, "I don't know. You tell me." He puts his nose to it, squeezes the water bottle. Oldest
vodka?
trick in the no, it was just straight water.
Yeah. It was that TikTok bullshit. Where you squeeze it,
Oldest trick in the book.
That's a good one.
And then the second one I actually wasn't present for. It was Hannah Carbon and Logan Hoff working concessions. I think the other person was Vanessa or Christine. But so Logan showed up late and Hannah was just like, "Oh, let's pull a prank." And so the fried items, she just started immediately counting them piece by piece. Like the nuggets. And Logan's like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" I was like, "Oh, we're taking inventory of like everything, so we're counting them piece by piece."
Yep.
She's like, "Do you want to help us?" And Logan's like, "Sure."
Sure.
So he starts counting like the corn dogs.
Oh my god.
Okay.
And he counts like 70 of them. And then Hannah walks around, and Logan's just like, "How many do you have for the pretzels?" And she goes, "Sweet baby angel, I just pranked you." We're not actually.
Baby angel.
Sweet baby angel, that's what she called them.
Why? Just because.
just to be an asshole.
I was gonna say.
Just to be.
She told me about that. I was like, "Oh wait," and then there was a third one.
Save
This one was
yourself.
my favorite.
I will not go.
Except that one,
Carry me home. All right, keep going.
that last one was good H carbs, but I will tell you, this one was the best by you. So, it was after our July 4th parade, and we were working the stand, like just the big stick stand, selling
Yep.
apparel, all that, promoting us.
Yes, sir.
And so Hannah Carbon, H carbs, carbon dioxide,
Carbs, bro.
she steals our boss's phone
Oh yeah.
and text our intern, Sam Henderson, in quotations, "This is your final warning, buddy. You're on thin ice after that stunt you just pulled." And then, like 10 minutes later, Sam like takes a screenshot, sends it to our chat. He's just like, "Why did Hannah just text this to me? I don't know what I did."
That's pretty funny.
God damn. Well,
Did he ever find out?
We told him right away as it happened.
I should have let it go for a while. Should have thought it was just on thin ice, about to get fucking kicked the fuck out.
Just
Yeah.
canned.
Like, could you imagine if your boss just texted you, "You're on thin ice, buddy"?
Yeah.
Especially you, Josh. Your boss says you're on thin ice.
Nah, that never happened.
Never happens, bro. Josh
what
is
if it did?
Josh is an angel
I'm an
employee.
angel,
Speaking
bro.
of
I'm an
angels,
angel.
bro. Josh is the angel employee. What, Justin? I was gonna say my question for you is kind of like, what were your like hours there? Did you have to show up at a certain time every day, or depending on game time, or what was kind of like? What were your actual hours for this internship?
So I'll tell you, like, right at the beginning of the internship, it was well over 50 hours a week.
Wow.
Oh wow. Damn.
We were worked like dogs at the beginning, which, looking back on it, makes sense. Like, when I look at how many hours we worked at the beginning of the season to the end, I see setting up takes a lot more than tearing down.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
for
for
sure.
sure.
Once you have a routine going, it doesn't take too long to get everything rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And overall, it was very hard work. Absolutely. I would go home and just be exhausted. But once the game started, the hours kind of slowed down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
We had gotten all the hard work done. And at the end of the season, I got my 400 hours that I needed.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, the hours were definitely very strenuous. And they definitely... I will say one thing about this internship. It really changed me personally.
Sure. How so?
How so?
It really taught me discipline.
Good shit. That's
Like
all
get your
she's
shit
doing.
done kind of a thing?
Get my shit done.
Good ethic.
It also taught me how to hold myself responsible.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't do something, my boss would be right on me, which I'd never had a job like that. And when I didn't do something, my boss would be right on me, and that's what I like. And it really changed me. And I'm blessed that I took this position.
So you're saying...
As hard as it was a very hard job.
Yeah.
But you know what? I made it through.
Do you
And
think
I'm
like
glad I did.
do you think like it also showed you that's like I don't know, I'm sure you never had any doubts because I'm sure you know this is what you want to do, but do you think it's like it helps show you that this is what I want to do, like this is the field I want to work in?
100%.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do. This is my life. I'm willing to die for it.
Oh yeah, that's good shit.
So would you say that you didn't have too many opportunities to like pitter patter around? Or would you say you really had to get at her?
Oh my god.
What do you mean?
Like you just couldn't pitter patter all around the stadium, you know? Like you really
Define
had...
pitter patter.
Like a lollygag,
Yeah.
or just kind of
during
around.
Well, during games I couldn't because I always had to be attentive because I was
Yeah, to
working
get
music.
at her.
That was another thing I learned was focus. Is because working music I had to always be attentive, always had to know what was going on, be aware of my surroundings. And yeah.
So always getting at her, bro, and that's kind of how we see it too. I mean, fucking, I've never known you to be a fucking let's push some shit off. You're always fucking on some
you
shit.
get on it.
No, straight
Yeah.
up.
So there was one incident this summer that I found really interesting. So there was, if any of the interns are listening, they're gonna know exactly
They all are.
about
They
this.
all are.
Yeah, they all are.
They all are.
So one of our community events was swim with the big sticks at the water park. And at our first like intern get together, like they were all talking like I don't want to be Teddy like at the water park, and I was just like straight up just like I'll do it.
Yep.
Like and they're just like we're gonna hold you to that. I'm like okay, bet.
Fine,
And,
sounds good.
and the next day they were just all like, were you drunk or did you actually mean? I was like, yeah, I don't care. I'll take one for the team.
Yeah.
And so when that event came down, I showed you guys like the outfit.
Oh yeah.
The
Oh yeah, we got
outfit.
that picture. Well, that'll be in the title. That'll be in the that'll be in the main picture. You'll see
Oh, yeah,
that.
for
So
sure.
like I was dressed up as Theodore Roosevelt, and it wasn't really like as heavy as like when I was the Blizzard mascot. Like it wasn't as bulky.
Yeah.
Like it was just the head and everything. So like it was at the water park. I knew I had to get in the water. So I went down the slide. All the kids were waiting for me. I flexed. It went great and all that. So then walked to the other side of the pool. I will say once like the outfit got wet, it started getting really heavy.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And then my boss said to me, "Just like, all right, go to that edge right there at the water park. You're gonna do a cannonball on the count of 3."
In
And
the
so
suit?
In
Oh my
the
God.
suit.
Jesus.
Damn, really?
So,
How deep was it?
it was only 5 feet.
Oh, okay.
not
So
terrible.
what did you do? Yeah.
So, they counted down from 3, and like me being the outfit in the good mood, I was like going with it, like putting my fingers out. 3, 2,
Yep.
1, and then I went in, did the cannonball, and then guess what happened?
Huh? What happened?
The head popped off.
Did it like float off your head, or like what happened when
As
you hit the
soon
water?
as I hit the water, phoom, Came right off.
I figured.
And I was immediately, as soon as it came off, I was under the water. I was like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me!"
Yeah, because
And-
that's the one no.
Yep. And I
Damn.
and I stayed under the water, not trying to surface. I'm staying under, trying to hold my breath, trying to find the head.
Right.
But then, shout out to Mike Reddick. He's the one who found it for me, put it right back on me, and all that. And the rest of the day, I was just so embarrassed because I ruined so many kids' childhoods.
I mean, it couldn't have been as bad as that time where we went on the ice as Cookie
Was that
Monster.
you or me, bro?
I was a Cookie Monster. My head didn't fall off.
Was it mine? No.
I think it was your head.
No, it was the other. It was
Aiden?
Noah or Aiden's. One of theirs.
I think it was.
But you didn't even hear the best part.
What was the best part of that?
So after that, kids were just harassing me all day, saying, "You're not real, you're not real," and I just dealt with it. I left there so pissed off because I was I just embarrassed myself.
I believe it.
I
mean,
was so embarrassed.
It's not your fault. What were you expect? What were you gonna expect from water? You know what I mean.
I should have been smart enough to hold it, but here's the thing.
How are you supposed to know?
So a week later, no, my boss actually told me right as I got out of the slide, be sure to hold your head, and I was I didn't know what she was talking about because it's kind of hard to hear in that thing. I didn't know what she was talking about.
I believe it.
So, about 2 weeks later, I'm walking around the stadium before a game, and a little kid comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, you're Teddy." I'm like, "Wait, what?" She's like, "I was at the water park. Teddy's not real. I knew it." And I ruined his childhood. Want to know what I said to him?
Huh?
I said, "Yeah, Santa Claus isn't real either."
You fucker, bro.
I didn't give a fuck.
At least he still believes in the Tooth Fairy or something. At least, right?
If Santa Claus isn't real, the Tooth Fairy isn't real.
I know.
I hate
dude.
to break it
that's
to that kid.
that's the tip of the
Childhood.
pyramid right there, isn't it? With
He
those
ruined
guys.
his- Yeah, he ruined
But
it.
My favorite part of the summer was the Theodore Roosevelt Twitter account.
What do you mean by the mascot had its own Twitter or what?
So if you look at our logo on my pint glass, who is that? Theodore Roosevelt,
Teddy,
26th
baby.
President of the United States.
He also the teddy
one of
bear
our
is also
interns,
named
I'm not
after
going
him.
to reveal his identity because of this.
Yeah,
He
it was
created
you,
the
it's fine.
Theodore Roosevelt. No, actually, it wasn't me.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
It wasn't me. Yeah. So he created an account, Theodore Roosevelt, Mr. Big Stick, and he would talk like someone from the 1900s. And my favorite tweet was, after the Moo beat us, it was just Theodore Roosevelt says, "Boo to the Moo." And actually, a couple days ago, the Big Sticks tweeted out saying, "Great season from the boys," and all that. And then the account retweeted that and said, "Great season, Big Sticks." And then responded back with the video from Night at the Museum with Robin Williams as Theodore Roosevelt, putting the sword up and then turning back into a sculpture.
That's funny.
And I was just like, that's the perfect way to end the season.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, follow that account.
That's a good way to wrap up the summary. I mean, damn, what a
I
summer.
will say I'm
must have
very
been.
thankful for the Badlands Big Sticks for this opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
of
was
course.
honestly, it was the best summer I've ever had.
Who was one of the best let's say coworkers that you worked with, and what position did they do to help you out with kind of what you did day to day?
All of them were great coworkers. It was an honor to work with all of them.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Was there anyone that just kind of helped you through exactly what you did, or
Everybody have different.
Well, I'd
roles.
have to give that to my roommate, Max Stapleton,
Yeah.
because I had to live with him. Work with him every single day. We got really close. He's going to be a best friend for life. He'll probably be at my wedding. And let me just say, it was an honor getting to know him. Me and him got really close. We developed a friendship.
Yeah.
Every single day we showed up to work. It was like working with a brother.
yeah?
That guy's going to be with... That guy's a good friend of mine.
And that's what
Shit.
you want in coworkers for damn sure.
Yeah.
What was maybe one of the biggest skills that you learned throughout this North Dakota journey that you can kind of take to your next either business in the similar field or something further down the line?
Without a doubt, attention to detail.
Okay.
Every single day showing up for pregame, you look at the stadium before pregame and you look at it. You're like, okay, Like, what is a fan going to notice? Because if it's one thing I knew before I declared my major into sports management, it's that if a fan doesn't notice something, you did your job.
Yeah.
Even the little things. Like, definitely if it's just, like, taking like a little piece of trash out of the stands. If it's filling the coolers the right way. Making sure that, like, if a little, like, coffee stain's cleaned up. If a fan doesn't notice it, you did your job. For anyone going into the sports industry, that's a motto to live by. If they don't notice it, you did your job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. Who did like the visuals? Was that someone else, and you just had the audio, or?
Define visuals.
Did you guys have like a big screen or anything to put visuals up? No, you guys just had the scoreboard and the innings and stuff.
And we had our Mix 105.7, like our radio station, and we did have YouTube, but that was that was all Sam Henderson. He did a great job. Like he was a returning intern. Doing his thing.
Returning intern? What does that mean?
Like, he came back for a second summer, doing his thing, broadcasting. Let me say, no guy does it better than him. He is an incredible announcer for the Mix 105.7. I wish him the best of luck in Kansas.
Oh, that's the guy who started a full-time job?
Yeah, because he has a lot of talent. And I expect big things from him.
Yeah. What is your kind of plan? You just moved back here to St. Cloud. What's kind of your plan here? What's kind of the next, 2 to 5 year plan? Just from your past experiences in North Dakota, is there anything that you're kind of trying to take that into consideration to look for something in the future, or what's kind of those next kind of steps for you?
Well, definitely in my time in North Dakota, I definitely realized you got to be patient. I'm going to be very patient in the next couple months. I'm going to scope everything out, work at my part-time job at Coburn's, and I'm just going to scope out, just see what's going on, check online, see what positions are available, and apply to the ones that fit me the best.
Yeah.
Because I know what I'm worth.
Yeah.
I know what skills I have, and I know which positions fit best for me. And if it's one thing that I learned in my journey in North Dakota, is that I belong.
Yeah.
That I can do this.
No.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I was talking about earlier. Yeah, like I wanted to know if you do that. Yeah, good shit.
Because I said this in my podcast when I announced that I was going to North Dakota.
Yep.
Could you imagine capital city suburban kid from Connecticut moving to western nowhere, North Dakota? I'm trying to make a name for myself everywhere I go.
Hell yeah.
And
this is just the beginning.
I think I made my mark.
Good.
And I'm only getting started.
Good.
See you at the top.
Good. We'll see you at the top. Make sure you also see us in the subscription button. You know what I mean? Hit that shit on YouTube.
Absolutely.
Slap the shit out of that red button. You're going to see more from Justin all out throughout our journey here with the podcast. Make sure you hit that green heart on Spotify as well. Justin, what else do you got for us? Any final, little reflection things or comments before we sign off here?
I got to give a shout out to Dickenson, North Dakota for the greatest summer of my life.
Hell yeah.
I was telling all the interns, I could be on a beach, drinking some beer or something. But you know what? This summer, I found my love for baseball again.
Good.
And I thank the Badlands Big Sticks for that. I thank Jason Watson. I thank Hannah Pepich. Thank you. Thank you, Dickenson, North Dakota. Go Big Sticks.
Hell yeah. And that's awesome because, whether you end up in baseball, hockey, UFC, let's just say, for example, whatever, I know you're going to kill it because you're a sports fucking guru, bro. You know everything about MLB, NFL, everything with anything with the ball, you know what I mean? Everything with the stick, too. I mean, whatever.
I was a swimmer, too,
Balls
buddy.
and sticks.
Love
Balls and sticks.
I was a swimmer, too, buddy.
And wet.
Hey, man.
Wet balls and
wet balls
sticks.
and sticks. Justin is our sports pro. You guys already know this if you're a regular listener. You guys already know this. Justin's... Hey, can I just say he's dope without, better lack of words at this point? But
I think everybody knows that by now.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm
stick
saying.
A little more, honestly.
Yeah, just rub the stick a little bit more.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit more. But, Justin, thanks for coming on. Any last comments before we sign off here?
It's good to be back at Bet Records. Be
Hell
sure
yeah.
to pound that subscribe button, hit that like button. Go Big Sticks.
Go Big
God
Six.
bless. God bless.
And we'll
Thank
see you next time. Peace
Peace
out.
out.
Move
Peace
it.
out.
I like how she move it. I got that new whip. Jose the dude trip. I like how she move it. I like how she move it.